Okay, cool. So we are live on YouTube. So tonight we're playing some BX D&D or old school essentials, depending on how you want to flavor it, I guess. And this is another adventure from the Trilemma Adventure series. Okay, cool. So we're live. Apparently I was watching myself. So this is another one. Michael Prescott put these together. A really fun kind of brand or system agnostic, or however you want to say it. They're not they're system neutral, so we can play them however we like. And I like to play them in BX. So we're coming into this adventure. Couple of heroes here. You guys, you got, maybe we'll say beat on a little bit or worn down, or however you want to say it, from your last adventure, and you were recovering in town when most of your adventuring party went off on a quest sent forth by the local nobles to head to the temple, but only about 2 days journey off. The temple where the priestesses of Deel, who's the protector, that's who she is, the god of protection. But part of her kind of pantheon is also celebration and wealth of the land. So these priestesses make honey mead, and once a year there's a huge festival in the spring where they supply it. Well, they hadn't brought the honey mead, so the local nobility sent a party up there to kind of make sure that everything was okay, and that included, basically your friends. They've been gone for well over a week with no word back. So now it's you're only a bit away from this festival. The nobility is getting freaked out a little bit. Maybe you guys are a little worried about your friends. Maybe you think they walked away with too much treasure and didn't come back. You want that, or maybe you're concerned about their safety. Who knows? But either way, you've taken on the task, put a few gold coins in your pocket, gathered up your retainers, and you've headed out to this temple. And this is again about 2 days off. It's off the beaten path, but it's not like people don't go there. Deel is a pretty popular or well-known deity, and people do travel to these shrines quite often. But you don't really see any pilgrims or anything on your way. In fact, when you finally kind of break the wood line and come out into the area where the temple would be, you actually see that it looks like there's been some destruction. So some of the walls, a lot of the walls, looks like they've been knocked down. Some of the outbuildings have been knocked down, and you don't see immediately from the distance. We'll say you're like a quarter mile away on your horses or whatever. You don't see any sign of life or anything at the temple currently. So as you're kind of looking down on this, actually, I'll show you this. So this is basically the map. You can see there's more to it, but I'll have to shrink it down. This area in the upper left of the screen, basically where those two columns are in that circle, you're coming from like there, like that area, like above that. You're looking, so basically the top left of the screen is where your characters are located now, but of course off screen you're further away. Let me see if I can shrink this thing for you. There we go. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so you can see basically that in right around those two columns, that wall there is smashed. And you can see some of the outbuildings that are behind it, are also smashed. The main, looking at this drawing, you can see that like that one in the center has some holes in the roof, but you can't see that from where you're at. So from your distance, it looks like this place has been maybe under siege or something, because it looks like some of the walls have been torn down. You don't immediately see any sign of life. And go through and you guys can introduce your characters and let me know what you want to do. So I will go with Tony first, because you're on the left.
Yeah, just to clarify, the crumbled walls, they do look like recent. It's not like from age.
As far as you can tell, because you can see all the rubble around it, and you don't see a lot of grass growing up through it, so you would think it's pretty recent. Plus, you've probably never been to this temple before, but you do know that even though it's quite ancient, so maybe some of the buildings may have crumbled over time, that it is someplace where people live. So it looks like it's a pretty wrecked state, and it does look pretty recent. Yeah.
You're leading the way is an average size elf that has this beautiful, long, flowing brown hair that part of it gets in his face that he has to brush out of his face, but he's always has such of a not a scowl, but just a stern look on his face all the time. And as he notices the crumpled up Deel, he just says, "It's always humans. They make this mead and this ale here, and they drink and they get in their revelry, and they always cause issues. And evidently, they've got enough bad mead into them, but they must have fought each other and tore down their own walls. Always humans, always." And if you ask him who he is or how to pronounce his name, he looks at you and goes, "Huh, you cannot say the word is Alian, but you can call me Hanan. Most people just call me Hanan." That is Hanan the elf, and he looks back to his two companions. You see a large human fighter wearing this plate mail and carrying a shield. And he goes, um, None. You want me to prepare? It looks like we may be going into trouble. As you see him draw his long sword out. And that will be Frank the fighter. And following close to them, he's acts like he's going through something in his mind. He's trying to say these words and put things together and not paying much attention to what's going on as the conversation starts. You see a very heavy set guy wearing leather armor, and his hair's not very well kept. And he goes, "Well, what's going on? Did something come out and attack us?" That is Charles the cleric.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So you guys can see it. Like I said, I mean, you don't see fire coming up or anything, but it definitely looks recent. I guess is a better way to describe it. And Crystal, you can intro your characters and let me know what you want to
do. Stepping out from behind the elf, you see this very large figure. At first, it looks like a huge skeleton, but as it steps into focus, you could tell that it's actually someone wearing this huge suit of bone armor around them. They survey the situation and just kind of look around, not seeming extremely worried about anything. They crack their neck to one side and then to the other as they pull their mace up from their side, which itself is like a large like bone with like a big club thing on the end. And then they lift their hand and kind of signal forward their other two companions who step forward. A fighter clad in chainmail who has his shield out, and for some reason only has a dagger in his other hand. And the other is this redheaded female in typical kind of like a robe, like a purple robe, and a what you would imagine would be like typical spellcaster garb. Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna kind of be following the elf at this moment, following their lead.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to write your characters' names and ACs in the chat, so that we're not keep asking you later. But also, Crystal, if you want the fighter to have a different weapon, that's fine. I mean, I just randomly put that up. I don't think just
okay, yeah, just long sword would be fun.
Dagger, like it's a little weird. So you can have a sword or whatever, whatever weapon you want. I mean, you're third level, you can afford weapons. So yeah, so you're looking off at this place. Again, you're about a quarter mile away. You've just kind of come out of the tree line. This is kind of down into a valley. You know, you can see that that it's not really like in the side of the valley. You know, it's not like pushed into the wall. It's kind of in the cradle of it. So there's like lots of space around it. Not seen on this map, what you can see is there's like small kind of stream that runs behind it. You know, and you can see like an area there where they probably get water and stuff. You know, they've got like a dock or whatever you want to call it, like over the stream with the little bridge and stuff. That's not, you can really, I mean, that's not part of the map, but that's behind as you're facing. Otherwise, yeah, as I say, at this moment, you don't see any movement or anything. No smoke, no dust. You can see the room.
Frank, the fighter, says, "Oh, do you want to just going up? I'm pretty well secured myself. I can just move on up and see if I see anything." And Hanan goes, "Unless any of the other companions here with us want to go, if not, sure, Frank, just but check with them first."
Frank's moving up. Crystal, do any of your characters want to go with Frank?
Frank is Frank his magic his fighter?
Yeah, he's the fighter retainer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Frank is his fighter. Okay, yeah. So then Grin will just point over her fighter and like do a pointing motion, sending him forward as well.
Okay, yeah. So you guys, I mean, like I say, you're on horses, so you can easily move forward pretty quickly. It's a quarter of a mile away, so it's going to take maybe like a couple of minutes to get there at a mild trot, you know. And you get closer, you definitely can tell that that it is pretty recent. I mean, you definitely can tell now that you're closer. You can see that the you know, pretty much all the rubble that you see is laying right in front. The circle area between the two pedestals looks, you know, completely clear of rubble, like those like steps going up to it, and the columns, I should say, themselves look completely clear. I will say, and I think it's just drawn like this so you can see better, that what would be the wall that would be always to the far left, where they're showing anything there. There is a wall there, so you know, there is a complete wall around, even though it is a bit crumbled. So I'll just point that out. But as you get closer, you actually hear the sound of somebody talking. It seems to be coming from, you know, as you get closer, it's coming from the side of the wall. As you're facing the columns, it basically would be your left. So if you're looking at the map, the right side of the columns, from behind that crumbled wall, you can hear a voice. They seem to be mumbling. Can't really make out what they're saying because they're not very loud, but they're definitely talking. And it seems like a one voice if you listen for a minute.
And how far away would our characters be from it?
Well, at this point, I mean, in order to hear that, you're probably like maybe 20, 30 feet away from the wall at the most. And you can
when Frank hears it, he looks at the Everfighter and he goes, "Follow me, be prepared." And he takes off running that way.
Okay. Are you going to go, so you're going to go between the columns?
Yeah, he'll run like between the columns and then, run that area where they hear it.
Well, do you want to take your horse there? You're going to gallop over there? You're going to jump off the horse and do it?
He's going to jump off the horse and go on foot.
All right, makes sense. All right, yeah. So you can do that. I'm assuming you're following Crystal, unless you say otherwise.
Yeah, my fighter is going to follow as well. He'll hop off his horse and grab his sword and shield.
Awesome. Yeah. So you guys jump off and you quickly make your way. You know, there's like that small set of stairs, and then you kind of go through that circular area. You can see, you don't know anything about it being fighters, but you can see that there's some like arcane symbols or religious symbols or whatever carved in those two columns and in the circle that you're running through, that kind of clear area. But again, they're not really super relevant to you as you're running through. And you come through and you look to the left and you can see that the wall's knocked down. I mean, you guys can see that I'll blow it up so you guys can see better. So you're basically, you know, you're kind of, I'm going to put it like in the center. So this little, you come through that circle and then you look to your left, right? And you can see that building is kind of the wall like collapsed down. And you can hear the sound is definitely coming from inside there. You know, you can, if you get closer, you could probably look over the wall, or there's a door in the front of it, of course, as well.
Can you like jump over the rubble? Is it like low enough you could jump over it? Yeah, no. Frank could just, he's in that full charge. He just jumps over.
All right, yeah. So you run like a maniac and you're just like, oh, you jump over the rubble. And what you're looking at, you can quickly deduce, looks like it's some kind of either a school or a library or something to that effect, because what you see, besides the rubble from the building and the roof, you see loads and loads of books. Many of them look like they're shredded or trashed from the clear destruction that happened. And kind of in the corner, away from you, who now looks up startled because you just jumped over in plate mail, is a man, and he looks like he's probably not slept or shaved or bathed in probably at least a few days. And he looks at you with mad eyes, and he's like digging through papers, and he's, no, not these. Where are they? Where are the precious books? And when he sees you, he looks at you, and he's kind of like, he's on his hands and knees, and he kind of starts to crawl backwards a little bit, looking at you. He's dressed, in kind of dirty robes. Doesn't seem to be wearing any kind of armor or anything. And he stops talking, and he's just staring at you now, like kind of you would imagine maybe he looks a little frightened.
Yeah, Frank looks towards the other fighter and goes, "Oh, what do you think's wrong with him? He seems to be in fear."
The other fighter, whose name is Ben, kind of shrugs and says, "What's up, old man? Like, what are you doing out here?"
The books. They weren't careful. They just destroy. But the books are precious. We need the books. They tell the story.
What books are you talking about?
The books of the prophecies.
Frank looks towards Ben and says, "I think I better go get everyone else. You stay here with them." And you see Frank jump back across the wall and head after him to get the rest of the group.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, do you like ride up to them, or you just go there and signal them? And
He'll just go to where they can see them, and signal for them to come in.
All right. Yeah, that'll be fast. Then you can definitely do that. All right. So in the meantime, the dragon kills Crystal's character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to. I mean, it doesn't take long, but this guy, as soon as he realizes that once you kind of bring up like what are you doing, and he kind of starts talking about it, all of a sudden it occurs to him that's what he should be doing, and he starts digging through the torn up papers and stuff, seemingly looking for some kind of books. Yeah. Unless you want to interact with him more. But I mean, everybody else will show up within a minute or so.
You say we did show up, the rest of them?
Yeah, I would say it would take. I mean, you don't have to come very far. A couple minutes and everybody's there. So so you can just, unless Crystal wants to specifically do something in about the 2 minutes that you have, then we can just say that you watch the guy acting weird.
I'm gonna say Ben just kind of watches him, and maybe he would ask like, what prophecy are these books? Like, what do they speak of?
About the end, or the beginning, or the beginning of the end, or the end of the beginning. It's all the same.
Yeah, maybe Sheila will make better sense of this nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody kind of comes up, assuming you want to, you all pull up and tie your horses out outside, and you walk through that entranceway, I guess is the simplest way to get in. And walk around to the building, and you can see Ben, interacting with this guy who seems to still be digging, looking for books or something.
Anon will walk up and go, "What is happening here? What is going on? Where's the mead that was supposed to have been delivered?"
Mead. Who cares for mead? This is the end, or the beginning of the end, or the end of the beginning. Or maybe it's the...
It's always humans that are so stupid.
Yes, humans are stupid. Humans are very stupid. Only the gods, Sorg, can save us from ourselves.
When he says that word, would we know anything about that? What he's talking about?
You can. It would be a religion kind of thing. So let's have the clerics roll. The clerics can roll a d20 under their wisdom, I guess. They're the
All
most.
right. Oh, wow. I passed. Good pass.
Oh, nice.
I passed as well. It's under 14.
So you would know that basically the Sorg is it's a kind of a generic term, but sometimes related in some cults to a very specific god that or godlike being that is meant to kind of bring change, and depending on who you are, change could the end of the world or the beginning of the better part of the world for those. It all depends on your perspective when you're looking at religion, right? So it's kind of some people say that it's going to be the beginning of the future, and then some people look at it as like a judgment. So depending on your own religious beliefs, you would as your clerics you can decide how you want to see that. But it's one of those kind of things. It's kind of an apocalyptic kind of creature.
Hey, Daniel Young's asking if he can jump in.
Yeah. Does he has a character, right? Where is it? Well, I'm on Facebook open, but as long as there's a character, he can sure. He can be the mad.
I guess if not, he could take one of his retainers, huh?
Yeah, or he could take a retainer. I'll just make him a retainer. I guess that's the easiest way. Yeah. Where is he? He's in Facebook.
Yeah, he sent a message. I just told him to come on.
Oh, I could. Yeah. I mean, it's easy enough to make a character, so we'll just say he was with you the whole time since everybody literally just got there. Or like you say, he could be one of the retainers.
Yeah, Charles will look towards the other cleric. Crystal, can you put all your characters' name in chat for me so I can write them down? But Charles will look towards the other cleric and go, oh, he's talking about that's some god that's used by different, all kind of people, isn't it? Do you know anything about it too?
I'm sorry, I was like trying to. So I missed what you were saying about the gods, but I did write my characters in chat.
Well, they didn't show up for me.
Oh, I accidentally wrote them to Daniel.
Oh, yeah, you did write to me, but yeah, because we're in a private chat. I always keep forgetting to put it. So basically, I will summarize. Actually, let's just if Young's going to show up any second. Well, actually, I'll just summarize before he gets it because his character might not.
Okay.
Basically, this thing Sarg is used as kind of a in many different religious prophecies as kind of a bringer of change. We'll say is probably this way to say it. So depending on how your religion views things, either it's it's going to change things, it's going to tear down what existed and create something new. So some religions look at that as a bad thing because they're like, oh, it's the end of the world, it's judgment, blah blah, and then other ones look at it as saving us from the toil that is life now. So it really depends on how you want your cleric to view it, but you would have heard of it in that sense. It's usually it can be actually shown as either like famines and plagues and stuff. It can sometimes be shown as like natural disasters, and then other times it's shown as some kind of a beast, depending on the story it's in. So it's a pretty generic term.
Snarg, the bringer of the end times, something that my religion looks forward to end this pitiful existence and begin anew. And yes, she does sound like that.
Okay. Yeah. So he goes back. I mean, this guy is continuously looking for the books in these piles, and this place. I mean, imagine if you were in a library with like really, really. It's a two-story building, but you get the feeling by the amount of rubble that's in here that it actually didn't have like two full stories. It was probably like a flat ground level and then like a balcony level above it, and then just tall stacks of books in between, because there's literally just piles and piles of books. Although it looks like maybe there's been some weather since then, and you're probably thinking back, you don't know when this happened, of course. Although actually you could probably get a pretty decent date of when this happened to about You would say no less than 2 weeks ago because it's rained. It hasn't rained since then, and many of the books are very wet. Or
And the other group that has been missing, you said they've been gone about a week, right?
they've been gone they were gone more than 2 weeks. Yeah, they were
About
gone
2 weeks there.
Yeah, it hasn't rained since they originally left, and many of these books have water damage. So you can imagine that when they showed up, they saw the same thing you did. At least,
Hanan will look towards this guy and he'll go, there was a group that come here about 2 weeks ago to give her the mead. Also, where are they? Have they left? Are they? What is going on here?
well, people are. And then he kind of like looks around and he says, "Where are the rest? Where are they? Where are they?" And he starts digging more into the books. He doesn't see. He seems to be now looking for people.
Hanan is going to walk up there and grab him by. He's wearing like robes.
Yeah, he just got robes.
He's going to go up and just grab him off the ground and just shake him and say, "Get out of whatever you're out of."
Okay. Yeah. So he gets a moment of clarity at that, and he says, "My brothers, we were here all looking for the books, looking for the books of prophecy. Where are they? Where?" And then he kind of like looks and he gasps, and you kind of turn to look where he was just looking, and you see actually at least one dead body with that looks like it's been like crows and stuff have been eating at it, laying in the kind of laying within the pile of books, kind of on the other side of the space.
Hanan will motion at Charles and take a look at that and see. I don't think there's anything, of course, you can do, and he'll send my cleric over to look at that body.
Okay. Young, do you have a character that's 3rd level that you're bringing in, or no?
Oh, he said he'd be right back now.
Oh, that's him. Oh, right. He's like.
But I think he put a character sheet up.
Okay, perfect. All right.
I think
so you can just intro it when they come. So your cleric goes over. Your cleric, who is Charles, goes. Yeah, this body's been dead for a while. At least a week, we'll say.
Charles will walk back. He'll look towards the other cleric first, and he'll go. It would appear the gentleman has been dead for several days now. There's nothing that. Well, I guess he would be turned over to you by now. Grin.
Yes. So it would seem. Sorry, I was not doing it at night. Kind of distracted. Okay. So who was it that's dead?
There's a body that's laying over in the edge of this library or whatever that I just went and checked out.
Okay. All right.
It looks like it's been eaten by the crows. At least a week old.
Okay. All right. So then we could conclude that this old man has been here for at least a week. If this is indeed the party he came with.
Did the body? It looked like it was one of the residents from here, though. The way it was dressed, or whatever. I guess
it's dressed the same way he is. Yeah.
Right.
In like simple clothes that like a pilgrim might wear. So it's not dressed in any way that seems to be, because you would know. I mean, just because that you've probably seen them bring the mead in and such like that, and you've seen the kegs of mead. There's no symbol on it of Deel, which is the goddess of this temple, on anywhere on these bodies. Like they're just plain robed men.
Anon will look towards Charles and go, or at least cover the body up. See if this babbling fool has a blanket or something.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem to have anything on him. I mean, you're holding him, right? So he's just got this like kind of dirty robe on. No shoe.
I have an orange My character has an orange blanket, an orange like cloak, and she'll take that and wrap it around the old man.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, the body's rotten, but it's it's old, but it's not like you're not going to get diseased or anything probably with it. Maybe not.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the old man that was like still alive.
No, the body.
Oh, well, I don't want to wrap my clicker in the body. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What happened to the guy that's still alive? Where's he at? Like we left him outside?
No, Hanan has got him shaking him, trying to bring him back to reality.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. Grin wants to look around the library, and Tony may have done this, but Grin wants to look around the library for any books about like this about this religion, about the end times, whatever, to see if she can verify what the old man was saying.
Okay, fair enough. You start digging around through the books, and most of the stuff is trashed because it clearly has rained multiple times, and they've just been sitting out here, and the ink is gone. I mean, not like modern books, so they get wet; they're basically trashed. But as you're digging through, you find a book that is actually you find like a wooden box that's shaped like a book, and when you open it up, there's indeed a book inside that's been protected from the weather. And it looks like it's a book of prophecies. And if you were to pick it up and read it, you could see that there are some prophecies in there, that Sorg will come as a giant. They show him as as a giant larval. So that will eventually form into a massive dragon that will consume all.
Yeah. So she'll show that, and she'll go, "Behold, Sorg in his infant form. Soon he shall arise as a dragon to wipe this land of all life, so that it may begin again."
Yeah, and this book is actually pretty. You can tell by the look of it that it seems like it's got some value. I mean, besides the information in it, like it's actually, including the wooden box and everything. It's probably like a pretty rare piece. The crazy guy, he when you show it to him, he starts to really feel, oh, good, it has been saved. Oh, the prophecies are saved. He gets
Who destroyed your temple and your people, your own people?
The world is my temple. The world is my temple.
Oh, you babbling fool. We'll get nothing out of this man. We must just continue on our own.
Yes, let us continue deeper and see what we can unravel here.
Yeah, if you let him down, Tony, then he will just continue to start digging through the books again.
He'll just he'll let him down softly and all that. I mean, nothing, but he'll just let him loose, like knowing he's beyond help.
Yeah, he's clearly like, I mean, and when you picked him up that he weighed like almost nothing. Like he probably hasn't been eating or anything else, and he's just he's in terrible condition. Do you keep that book? Whichever character picked it up from yours, Crystal, I guess.
Grin's gonna keep it.
Okay, so you can just call it Book of Cult Prophecies.
Okay.
Charles the cleric will reach in and take a ration out of his deal and lay at the man's feet. Say, you must gain sustenance yourself, or you will not be around much longer to find what you seek. And you'll leave a ration for that guy.
Okay, nice.
Let him perish. The worms of the earth shall consume its flesh, and life will find a way.
Yeah, he actually it starts to tear open the ration once he sees it. Like his eyes clear up a little bit, and he starts tearing it up, and tear up to eat it, to open it up. Okay, so he's eating that and very quickly, shoving it down his face as fast as he can do. Essentially, inside this space, again, there's just, besides him and the dead body, there's lots of books. You can either walk back out over the wall like you did, or go in and out the door, which is there. But just so you get a look at the courtyard and everything here, because you kind of walked through it, you've got basically like directly across from the door from this this place that you're in. That's actually like a waterfall. You probably see that like that, right? There's a little waterfall going on, and of course there's a bridge going over it. And further to the bottom there, to the southern part of the map, is another kind of wrecked building over here.
Hanan wants to go back to the entrance there where those two columns are.
Okay.
And he wants to look at that because he's curious that, nothing seemed to have been destroyed there or nothing out of place. So he wants to go like investigate those columns, if the rest of them like go somewhere else around there where they're kind of all within eyesight or whatever.
Okay. I'm sorry, which character's going to do that?
My main one, Hanan.
Oh, no, okay, perfect. Yeah, so being an elf and, having some background probably in history and such on, you look at it. Give me a d20 roll under your int.
Oh, man. 19 over 10.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you can definitely see what it says. Basically, you can see that there's engravings, which, are kind of beyond your interpretation, except for the fact that very clearly written, it says, "Those who stand in my circle will be protected from all." And it says the symbol of Deel, the protectress.
Yeah, he'll just, take note of that and walk back to wherever Crystal and all the other characters, wherever they went to.
Okay. So yeah, you've got a few options as far as obvious things you could check out. You've got the ruins there on the further southern part of the map, for lack of a better way to describe it. You got the waterfall, which you could go over the bridge, and there's stairs there. There's actually two ruins, basically. You've got ruins, you can probably see them. Which was why I pointed this. You've got the one ruin, I'll put it in the center of that ruin, and then you've got that whole strip of ruins at the bottom, basically. And then you've got stairs going up to a higher part of the temple. So where do you want to go?
Am I the only one that's paying attention?
No, I'm listening. You said that there was a part that goes higher up into the temple?
Well, there's stairs.
Yeah, that's where I want to go. I want to go up more. I want to try and find more like the main part of the temple.
Okay. Let's make this sound so we can see more. Okay, so yeah, so if you go, basically out and you go across that bridge there over the water, there's a set of stairs and you start walking up. So everybody's going up the stairs?
Well, yeah, Hanan, I have to run and catch up with them. And if they go, continue that way, because if he was at the Deel, but yeah, if he sees them keep going, he'll run and go, oh, they never do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, you definitely
are but stupid humans, remember.
That is true.
So everybody's walking up the stairs. So go ahead, everybody who on the stairs, so everybody basically, make a saving throw versus spells.
Oh man, both of my henchmen failed or whatever, and I think the elf will pass. Yep, he passes.
Okay.
Grim passes. My magic user definitely fails, and my fighter got a 12, which I think is going to be a fail as well. I gotta look.
The saves are on the little retainer thing. Your spell save is 16.
Yeah, so fighter fails as well. So both my henchmen fail.
Okay. So if you fail, so if you're a spellcaster and you failed, you cast your spell. You cast a spell randomly. Just boom, you just use it.
Okay. Then my magic user will randomly cast a spell. Then I'll roll a odd. It'll be the first one. It'll be sleep, and even it'll be ventriloquism. When it was even 18 is what I rolled on the d20. So she cast ventriloquism.
Okay.
Charles the cleric, he's going to shake his head and look back towards Frank and reach out and grab him and go, "You shall never fear what is inside. You are the brave one," as he casts remove fear.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you do that, and then anybody else who failed, let's see, you said your fighter failed, Tony?
Yep, he failed.
Okay. Does he have any?
Yeah, mine did as well.
Let's roll his first three. So does he have? Okay, so he's gonna reach into his rations and just start eating them all, like in a really messy way. So it's super wasteful. Like take like one bite of one and just throw it off the side. And
Yeah, he starts stuffing them in his face, and he's trying to talk through it. And he goes, well, I'm trying to eat all this because look behind us, the other elf was here. And you look behind him to see another elf stand. I think that's an elf that Young has.
Oh, okay. All right, let me deal with this first. The Young up here. We'll put Young at the top of the stairs. Okay, so that was your cleric, and then the other character passed, right, Tony? And now, Crystal, you had the fighter also failed. Okay,
Yes.
so do they have a missile weapon?
I only have a long sword.
Okay, so then you do the same thing. You eat up all your rations.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and anybody who passed, so you got to make 2 checks to get all the way up the stairs. So, Young, go ahead and make a. We're just going to assume you were here the whole time, but just let us know who your character is, and we'll just say that you were here, and then we're going to have you make a save versus magic.
All right, I'm going to be playing Keebler, the elf.
Okay. Oh boy. All right, so Keebler, we'll hear more about Keebler in a second. Let's just get past this part. So make a save versus spells.
I rolled 11, and I believe that's a fail.
I don't know.
Yeah, for spells, because mine is like 15.
Okay. So if you're an elf, so you have spells, so you're going to cast a spell randomly.
Oh, okay. He cast Whole Portal Spell.
Roll random to see which spell you cast.
Okay.
One of your spells is being wasted, basically.
I gotcha. I got Sleep and Portal. And Whole Portal Spell.
Okay. So you cast. There's no portal really, so you just kind of randomly waste a spell. All right. And as you guys are kind of doing that, you make your way to the top of the stairs. I guess people who weren't affected are probably like, what the... but everybody else gets to the top and they're just, you kind of shake your head and you're just like, wow, we really needed to do that. It was a desperate moment. Like you really felt like that it was super important that you had done the thing that you did, like ate the food or cast a spell or whatever. And you find yourself at the top of the stairs. And basically up here, you're looking at kind of a courtyard. There is a large statue, which you probably saw as you were walking up. At the top, actually the statue is along the sides of the stairs too that you notice, and they are have been smashed. Like as you get to the top, you can see them, they've been smashed and they've been kind of desecrated. There's like the graffiti on them, for lack of a better word, including the one at the very top. And once you get to the top of the stairs, you kind of feel more relieved and you're in that kind of courtyard area. So I move this over. And in front of you is a building with columns. And to the left, you see a set of stairs going up to like another columned building at the top. Yeah.
Is that like at the top of the stairs? Does that look like a big statue or something? Or
yeah, it's a statue and it is desecrated. One of the arms is broken off, and there's kind of like, again, for lack of a better word, graffiti, like swear words and stuff like.
Is it like a statue of that goddess of Deel? Would you know? It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's Deel, yeah. That particular statue is a statue of Deel. The other statues coming up were like just other symbols that sometimes represent her, like a shield and like things like that. But this is definitely a Deel statue.
Hanan will look back and go, "See, I told you, the humans partake of this mead, and they get themselves of all this revelry, and they have defiled their own goddess and statue."
And I guess also, now I'm looking at it. So you're at the top of the stairs. You on the other side of the statue, as you're looking at it, you see there's another set of like little tiny stairs going down, which leads across a bridge that goes to that waterfall. And there's another building over there, and that building has a big hole in the roof. So you on this kind of level, if you will, there's 2 buildings. There's the one that's straight in front of you that has the columns, and then if you were to go around the statue and across that little bridge, then you get to the one with the hole in the roof. And then of course you could climb up the stairs to the very top if you want as well.
Hanan will look towards Gran and go, "Which way do you want to start first? It appears there's a couple buildings and things to go.
So we just came to those long stairs, right? And
That's-
like the zigzag stairs lead up.
That's correct.
Okay.
What there about that big statue? See that big statue?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Grin will point to the building that's next to the zigzaggy stairs, like the one that's in front of us, basically. And she'll just begin heading that way. She has her shield on her side. And, she'll enter the building.
Cool. Yeah, as you guys start to walk forward, because they're basically, they're not quite invisible, but they're more or less translucent, so you don't see them immediately. You kind of walk into this like swarm well, I mean, at first you think they're flies, but as they kind of start to stick to your body, you realize that they're leeches. So you're starting to get covered in these leeches. Everybody is. Actually, let me see. I think it's 20.
Everybody that went in.
Everybody started walking forward in the towards the building. They're outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they basically they moved on top of you. Actually, they weren't just sitting there. So basically, it's a swarm of flying leeches have moved forward and they're kind of engulfing the party. So, what do you want to do? Tony, your characters.
Oh wow. Anon is very irritated now. He'll move back like towards the statue, and he's trying to like you would a wasp or whatever you're trying, or bees or whatever, you're just trying to knock them off. I mean, he's just trying to wave at them. Charles says, I've cast remove fear on you, great Frank. You should not be scared of these things. And Charles is trying to back up too, but Frank is going to draw his sword out and just start swinging through the air to try to knock some of them down.
Okay. How about your characters, Crystal?
Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna take away that here. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna kind of pull my mace out, start kind of swinging around. Fighter will sort of do the same. Magic User's gonna back up a little bit. She doesn't really want to be in the midst of those maggots, if she can help it.
Okay. And Keebler, what are you doing?
Hanan will reach out and grab the other elf and pull him back and go, "You fool! You're not supposed to be up there with them either."
Okay, so anybody who's just like running out. So basically, if you're going to swing your weapon around and back up, then you're doing essentially a fighting retreat. But anyone who is just moving out of them, actually, in both cases, you can get out of them because unless somebody's super slow. Actually, the fighter would be in plate mail would be slow. You'd only be able to move like about 5 feet. So Crystal's magic user, for instance, and also your magic user, Tony, if they backed up, can get out of the swarm pretty easily. However, you will take 4 points of damage automatically.
The two characters who backed up?
Yeah, the ones that are magic, the ones who aren't wearing any armor. So no armor, 4 points of damage. Yeah.
Well, my cleric's got leather armor, so.
Yeah, he should be good. Yeah.
Okay, so it would be Crystal's character.
Oh, right, you don't have a magic user. That's right. You have a cleric and a fighter. I'm sorry. So, Crystal, your magic user takes 4 points. Anybody brandishing a weapon is going to just take 1 point as you're kind of moving out away from them. However, if you are in metal armor, you're not going to be able to get out of the swarm this round. They're fast, but they're not. They're kind of following you essentially. You notice that you're swinging your weapon around, but you don't seem to be like hurting them because it's like just a swarm of these things in the air as you kind of back up. Are you backing up down the stairs? Or are you going towards the place with the hole in the roof?
Did they seem to come like from that building, like that area? I mean, it seemed like they're.
I mean, they came from in front of you, so you could probably imagine that. You don't really see it because they were like invisible, so you didn't really see where they came from, but they were definitely in front of you. Yeah.
Hanan will yell, "Run across the bridge, across the water. Maybe we should go to that building," pointing towards that round building.
Okay.
Grim will follow.
Okay.
Keebler follows.
Okay. Cool. So, what kind of armor are you wearing there, Cable?
He has leather armor.
Okay. So you take 2 points of damage from the leeches.
Ouch! Ouch!
Yeah. And you're able to, if you all just take off and run, you're able to get out of the swarm. They're following you, but they're pretty slow. However, everybody will take the same damage again next round just from being having them on you, except for the first round, which was the magic user.
All right, cool.
Yeah. All right.
My magic user and my cleric are both down to 1 hit point.
Perfect. You only need 1 hit point.
Also, everybody, even the ones in
Oh,
leather
no, I'm
armor,
sorry. I'm down to 4 hit points.
Yeah, because they're basically to account for the leeches that are already on you.
they'll take 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that drops Charles in 2 HP.
All right. He's running with the crowd to get away, and the leeches just latch onto him. And actually,
Well, wait. Would those boots? Would they have gave him any like more? You know, would they give him any more distance or?
They don't make you move.
They could leap 30 feet.
You could
right?
leap 30 feet though, so yeah, technically you could go faster if you leap. Yeah, okay, I'll say that.
Yeah, he'll like like when they get to that little bridge here, he'll just like leap over the bridge, like the water instead of the bridge. He just kind of leaps over that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. You can do that. All right, so you don't die yet. Yet. Yes, you get across. You can see they're still following you, but you guys are slightly faster than them as you run across the bridge, and you can see that what appears to be some kind of storage silo is the door's open. You know, well, it's actually knocked in, like there's no door at all there. If you want to just run right into it, you can do that. If you don't do that, then the leeches are going to catch up to you, I guess.
Oh yeah, Hanan or whoever's leading the way, he would tell them to keep going to run to the building.
Yeah, Grim will keep going.
Cool. All right, awesome. So you run in like maniacs into this place, and when you get in there, you see there are a bunch of dudes, all dressed similar to the crazy guy you saw below. They have just plain robes on. They're kind of gathered around. You can see that the silo itself is full of like bags of grain. These guys are kind of huddled around, like you're not sure what they're like. They're just discussing or eating or whatever. And let's see if you surprise them. You come running and like, no, they're not surprised. They heard you coming. You're surprised. So you for a second you pause when you see them there. Let me see their reaction though when you come in. Let's do a reaction. 2d6. Let's see. Crazy characters running through the door. How does that react? Oh, okay, interesting. So they stand up and look at you, and they don't. You look surprised. So you guys are set back for a second. But you're swatting the leeches off of your bodies, and you see these men that's kind of looking at you, and then that round passes, or whatever you call it, and one of them kind of steps forward and says, "Strangers, you've come to worship."
We have come to take possession of the mead that was supposed to be sent for the festival, but has never arrived. That is all we are here for.
There will be no more festivals. We are being.
Well, that's not for you to decide. I don't believe. You've made a contract to deliver mead, and we're here to take possession of it.
The contract is not ours. We are here only to help Sorg end the world, though he is punishing us, for we clearly did not have enough faith.
You weakened faith. I shall be the one to help end the world. What shall I do for Sorg?
Nice. What's your charisma? You have this plus 0, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So the man looks and he says, "We have determined that the other groups have not worshipped properly, and we must kill them but all we have is these meager weapons. And they show you like a couple of clubs that they have. And they say, we must kill them before Sorg is so upset that he decides to not end the world.
Grindilda pulls her club from her hip and says, "You believe this to be a meager weapon? I shall show you what it can do. Where are those that we must kill?"
Mayan the Butcher and his group are below in the ruins, and possibly easier to take care of first. In the brewing house, there are Len of Autumn has his men there with the honey and the mead, keeping it in their possession. But we must kill them.
Very well. It shall be done. I'm guessing that the first person, the Mayan person, is the person we came in at the gate.
I mean, you don't have any way of knowing that. One way or the other.
How may we bypass the spells around this place so that we may get to these people easier?
Spells?
Yes.
He doesn't. He questions spells. I know not of spells, only the hunger of Sorg. Sorg eats what Sorg wants.
Makes sense. Sorg must be punishing this entire place.
Yes.
Very well. Sorg, I shall kill these in your name.
So at that, you've assembled these guys, motivated them, I should say. They pick up their like meager clubs, and they say, "Let us now kill in the name of Sarg." And they wait for you to lead the way, basically.
Hanan and his people step back, and you see Hanan grab like a green gem around a necklace as it starts to glowing, and he starts casting and chanting some words in Elvish, and I am casting protection from evil on myself because Hanan thinks at this point Gran has been possessed and he will take no part in the murder of anyone.
Okay. All right, good. Let me just check this. I think
Gabler takes a step behind Lanon, and he takes out a cookie and munches on it.
Okay. What's your alignment, Anon?
Neutral.
Mine is
Cool. Because in this one, it protects you from everybody of a different alignment, I believe. Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah. So you cast your spell. So basically, where they're pointing to you, Grin, is that building you were heading for. Actually, he says that's the brewery where Otto holds the honey and the mead captive.
Do you know of the maggots which surround the place?
No, they don't know. He shrugs. Let me see something. Yeah, when you kind of come out and you look around, you don't see them anymore. They don't seem to be around. At least not around where you are. If you want to try to figure out where they are, you could roll a d6. We'll see. If anybody wants to kind of look around the ground, see if you can locate them, because they're kind of.
I looked around and I rolled 3.
Will someone roll me a d6, please?
Yeah. 2.
Okay, yeah, you're looking around. You actually see. I mean, it's hard. They're kind of invisible, but you can see down below that those like leeches seem to be like kind of congregating around the water on the lower level. They're kind of floating over by the bridge.
There in the water. She'll point to them. She'll point them out to the new friends of hers.
Okay, yeah. He looks and sees and he says, "Ah, that is but the emanations of Sarg." It is glorious to be consumed by such things.
I would not disagree, but if they attack me on my way to kill those whom I must kill, then I will not be able to fulfill the duty.
You are very wise. But isn't your duty to die? So wouldn't you be fulfilling the duty either way? He asks.
I have a feeling you do not want me to accomplish the task which you claim Sorg so desperately wants. Is it you whom I must kill instead?
They kind of lift their clubs up and they say, yes, and they attack you. Roll initiative. No, everybody tell me what you want to do there.
Oh boy.
That was you actually had the most positive thing until you just threatened them. Oh man, that's too funny. All right, so what do you guys want to do? They basically raise their clubs. They're going to attack you. You're standing basically outside near that bridge. Just
How
outside.
many are they?
9. You're pretty equally matched, actually. I think you're only like a couple people short. They are in regular clothes and have just like clubs in their hands.
Do you want me to roll the initiative since I threatened them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sounds fair.
4.
Okay. Okay, they got 2. So you can see them pull their weapons out, but you can definitely go for it. I'm just going to go in order and listen to this. We'll skip the because there's so many combatants. I'm going to skip the order of operation because most people are doing it anyway. So unless somebody wants to cast a spell, they can do that first.
Yeah, I'm casting spell. Hanan is.
Okay, go ahead.
I hate to blow my wad, but I'm fixing to do it.
Yeah, so Sheila will cast the spell as well.
Who has a higher dex? That's who will go first.
Mine I think is. Let me look. Mine's 8.
And Sheila has a dex of 10.
All right, so Sheila cast your spell first.
Sheila's going to cast Sleep.
Okay. You may catch your party members in that, but they'll definitely because basically you went out first with your people and everybody else was the way you were acting was everybody was staying in the back. So basically you're casting the party's behind them for you. So if you can do that and they'll probably go down first, but just so you know, you might take out one of the PCs if you roll too high.
I'm gonna say Sheila would hint it.
Yeah.
Hopefully she hopes to take them out first and then hopefully the magic user will protect them.
Yeah, I mean definitely they're all lower level than you, so they're definitely going to go first no matter what. So worst case scenario, you have to slap somebody awake. Go ahead and roll your hit dice.
2d8.
2d8. Yep.
Total of 5.
5. Okay, 5 of them drop. And now how about the other magic user? Yeah.
So there's 4 of them standing?
Yes.
This is what Anon is going to do. You're going to see him grab that green gem again as it starts glowing, but it's glowing brighter, more forceful this time. And he starts saying these words in Elvish, and everyone is going to see. He thinks in his mind of looking back in the library a minute ago, of looking at that drawing and that artwork of this Zorg as he puts that image into his mind. And he starts saying these words and he just blocks everything out and everyone looks up and they see the manifested Zorg as this dragon or this great worm or whatever it is as it appears on top of that round building. And it has this awful look on its face and stuff like it's displeased with its followers. So he's casting Phantasmal Force.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Excellent. Let me get a morale check on them.
And he's hoping that, when they see it, that they see a displeased God. They've displeased their God by the actions they're taking.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, they failed the morale. So let's see. Let's see. Based on their state of mind, say if okay. Okay. First guy falls down, prostrate to the thing like he's worshiping, like on his face. Second guy jumps off the bridge into the water. Third guy falls down to pray. Fourth guy jumps off the bridge, killing himself. Fifth guy prays. And that's it. There's only 5, right? So two guys
There
jumped.
was 4.
There was 4. Okay, so basically 2 guys jumped off, committed suicide. The other 2 dropped down. And they're like flat on the ground, like worshiping the god. So you're free to do whatever you want at this point. If you act quickly, you could slay them if that's what you want to do, or tie them up. They're not going to react. So
Hanan would just stand. He would just stand back, and look at the rest of them and let them do whatever they want to. He's out of it now.
If he's out of it, Grin definitely pulls her mace and smashes them both in the back of the head. How dare you betray me, you puny weaklings!
Okay. All right, yeah, they die quickly. You look over the side, you see two dead, men splattered on the right by the library. And then you have the other ones that fell asleep, the 5 that are asleep sitting there.
She'll kill them too.
Okay.
Are you chaotic?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So you're protected from her.
yep.
That's why I was asking. Spell would protect you from her. Yeah.
And so now what she's going to do, she's going to take one of those bodies of the people she just murdered, and she's going to throw it over into the river where those bugs are at, resting, and hopefully they'll disperse or at least latch to that body so she can walk across.
Yeah, the bugs actually, you notice, actually they've already started to move kind of in your direction in a sense. So maybe you throw them down to where they are, and when you do, they stop, start consuming the body. And some of them actually, basically they all do. You throw the body down and they just they sit on top of it, and you can see the leeches just consuming it.
Nice. All right, Grin will begin to walk out. She didn't even tell anyone where she's going, really.
Yeah,
she's going to start heading to that building.
After all those cult members are dispatched by Grin and company, Hanan will let the concentration go on the great worm and let it disappear.
Okay.
Dibbler walks behind Hanan and says, "He murdered them all of them. She
murdered them.
She murdered them all. She's not right in the head, is she?"
You should stay close to me and my companions, I believe.
I think that is a wise decision. And he huddles behind Hanan.
Okay, so Grin's walking away. Where are you going?
I'm going to that little building where they said that one of the people were.
Okay, yeah. So you stride confidently towards the building with the columns. So you guys see Grin going there. You guys are back by the granary, basically. Do you want to follow, or would you? I'm assuming.
Yeah, Hanan and company would stay probably 20 feet behind Grin, though. But
yeah, let me just check. What are your henchmen are? Your henchmen are. The magic user is neutral. So here's the. I'm rolling the morale. What is your 11, right, for your charisma?
My charisma is let me check again. 11, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Both your retainers follow you as you walk towards the thing. I'm sorry, Tony. What did you say you were going to do? I was rolling something.
Yeah, Hanan and company, and I guess Keebler's with us right now. We'll all stay 20 feet behind Grin. We're following them, but staying a good 20 feet behind.
Okay. Yeah, so you follow them towards like so you're probably about where those like stairs are that wind up the side. As Grin approaches the stairs to this building, it's got a big solid wooden door that is closed. The building's made of stone. It's beautifully decorated with symbols of beehives and also festive ornamentation and like cups and things you would associate with like mead and the spring and stuff like that.
Okay. She puts her mace back on her hip, and then she'll pound on the door. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, interesting. Good. You hear somebody inside say, "Only those who worship the end may enter."
You speak to a death cleric priestess.
Oh, I see. Do you realize that death is different than complete and total annihilation of the world?
Both end and both bring forth new things. Both are the same to me.
Sorg is not happy. We must.
So I have seen, but I have begun the cleansing.
Ah, do you hear the door unlock?
All right. She'll open it.
You open the door and you see this guy. He's a big, kind of burly looking guy. He's actually like, how everybody else has been in these like brown robes. He's actually kind of in more or less like lavish clothing, and he has a scimitar on his hip, rings on his fingers, and jewelry around his neck. Behind him, there's 4 of these guys that are dressed in the brown robes. They've got spears, and they're kind of standing. They're behind him, but to either side. So you kind of in a formation like he could take a step back and he'd be behind the spears. And he says, "In what way have you started the cleansing, good cleric? Come, join us." He puts his hands out wide. He says, "I am Len of Autonon."
Those who were in the temple, those who were not worthy of Sorg, they are no longer in this realm.
You've been to the temple.
Or, well, I don't know.
Granary.
Yeah, granary. She'll say granary.
Okay. Oh, so you say the granary. I didn't know if you were trying to trick him or not. Okay, so you say granary. He says, yes. This I know. Heretics, all, as are Mayan the butcher's men below, keeping us trapped here, or keeping them trapped down there, depending on how you want to think about it. And he laughs. He can see your 2 companions behind you, and he says, but the other people, based on where they're standing, he can't see. And he says, if the 3 of you will join us, we may be able to make siege upon Mayan and finish this.
Indeed. Let it be done.
Okay, so he looks at his men. He reached down and pick up. They have like shields. They're not wearing armor, but they have now shields and spears. And he has a scimitar. He draws it. He says, "Come then, let's go." And he starts to walk towards you and out the door, basically.
Yep, Gren will follow.
Yeah, you step aside, and he comes out, and now he sees the rest of the party out there, and he says, "Ho!" And he points the sword at him. "Who goes there? Only followers of Sorg. In the destruction they come."
They are with me.
"Ah, you shall join us in the destruction."
Anon whispers over to Keebler, "No, we're not."
Of course we're not. But let's just pretend that we are. Otherwise, they're going to kill us all.
"Oh, you foolish elf. You know we live much longer than these puny humans do."
I'm just worried that they're going to turn on us and try to kill us all.
So he looks at you, and he's waiting for you to kind of come to the group. You're just standing there. He's kind of getting suspicious. And he says, "Are you joining us, or will you join us in hell?"
Anon and crew will go that way, but they're going to stay. But if the group, if Gren's leading the group, they're staying behind all of them.
Yep. And Keebler's staying behind and on.
All right. So they go down the stairs.
Yeah, we're staying a good 20 feet behind them.
Okay. They make their way down the stairs. About halfway down the stairs, the 4 guys in robes like stop and look a little bit wild-eyed, and they throw their shields over the side of the wall, and then they kind of shake their heads and keep walking down the stairs. The leader, Len, does not do that. He just kind of walks straight down.
So they just threw their shields completely away. Well, they don't have them.
Yeah, they just threw them away. Just like how you guys, well, you didn't actually throw anything. Like you guys spells, because when you start walking down the stairs, you're going to make a saving throw again.
I got you.
Yeah. So when you walk down the stairs, you'll also have to make that saving throw, unless unless you don't go down, of course. But you're following, so that means you went down. So everybody make a save on the stairs again.
And we're going back down the way we come from. Is that right?
Yep, he's leading you down to those ruins.
All right.
15. That's a save.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! I will never roll 3d20s like this again. I got a nat 20, a 15, and an 18, so they all pass.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you guys walk straight down. How about you, Crystal?
Grin and the fighter failed. The magic user passed.
Okay. So if you failed and you have a spell, you cast it automatically. I don't know.
The magic user passed, so she didn't.
But Grin has spells, so no? Isn't Grin a cleric?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I cast one automatically.
Yeah, you guys ran.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on, let me look at what I have.
Random. You got a random.
All right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Not my mouse off. Let me roll to see which one. Okay. Even. So therefore, I cast my my second one, which was protection from good.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so you cast it. And then you said the fighter failed? They ate their rations.
Yes.
Did they eat their rations last time?
Yes.
All right, so all they got left is they throw their weapon. Or shield. If you have a shield, you could throw a shield.
He throws a shield.
Yeah. So you just whip it off the side into the nowhere land behind the back. And then you all make it down to the bottom of the stairs again. At the bottom, Len is there, and he pulls from his side a skin, and he starts drinking, and he says, "I will miss the fine mead of this place, but when we are reborn, perhaps there will be better things than mead." And then he continues to drink from the skin. Then he says, "The dogs are in the ruins, hiding like children." And then he calls out, Mayan, come forward. Meet your fate. Sorry. And then you hear Mayan call back. You hear from a voice from inside. He says, "It is not me you should be fighting. It is outsiders that bring the doom to us. Look at those you partner with. Filth, demi-humans, wizards." And he calls back, "No, you have not been practicing proper etiquette in the destruction." And they're basically yelling back and forth for a minute or so, if anybody wants to do anything.
No, Hanan and companies, we're staying a good 20, 30 behind all this.
Okay.
While they're arguing back and forth, Grindova's behind the guy.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to pull her club and smack the guy in the head.
Oh, Len?
The guy, whoever led them down the stairs.
Okay. That's cool. Let me see if you surprise him. You do not. When you go to swing, he kind of hears the whiff, and we'll roll initiative to see if you get him first. So you might as well roll again since you're basically the one in combat.
4.
Okay. Oh, he got 6. You telegraph your move too much, like you're in some kind of action movie. And he spins around and tries to jam his sword into your gut. His scimitar, I should say. But he rolls a 5, so that's not going to hit anything. So he tries to swing at you, but he's kind of off-footed because you were going at him. But his 4 guys that are there are all going to pile on top of you with their spears as well. They're going to try to anyways. 6 doesn't hit anything. 1. These guys are terrible. 3. Holy crap. Maybe. No, 13. No, but you have plate armor on it. That's going to hit you.
And a shield.
And a shield. Just take a look.
I have AC too.
They're normal humans. They rolled a 13. No, that doesn't hit you. No. So all these guys. So basically, you go to swing at this guy, and you telegraph your move too much. So he steps forward and swings his scimitar and misses by a mile. His men in surprise charge at you with their spears, but they kind of all buckle into each other, and nobody hits you as you kind of deftly move out of the way. And it is your turn.
Grin will say, it is obvious to me that that you all embarrass Sarg, and she'd like to. If I can, I'll like drop my mace on like into my satchel, and then I'm gonna grab this guy and use my other spell, which is causes light wounds.
Yeah, for sure. You'll get a save, of course. So let me roll that. He rolled a 3. Well, this purple die is finally working for you guys. Usually kills you all. Yeah, failed. So do some damage.
And he'll take 5 points of damage as this evil death wave just ripples through his body.
Nice. You grab him, and yeah, you can describe how he dies. You basically crush him.
I'd like he feels the death closing in on him as he feels Grin's hand around his neck, and she squeezes and squeezes and squeezes, and finally you hear a pop, and you know she's dislocated his neck, and she just tosses his body onto the ground in front of his henchman and says, "You're next."
Okay, cool. How about your henchman?
Unless you say differently, I guess they're going. At least the sword fighter is going to attack. The magic user can't really do much anymore.
Yeah, you can make an attack this round. I won't.
Ben, so Ben will attack the one of the Schultman. Oh, and rolled a 17.
Oh, nice.
But only 1 point of damage.
How much? 1?
Hold on. Yeah, 1. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me look at his strength. See if he has any bonuses to his strength. He has a strength of 13. That's a plus. Is that plus 1? Okay. So 2 points of damage.
Nice. Let me just see how many points these guys have. Sorry. Of course, I clicked off the page somehow. There we go. 2 hit points. Yeah, you cut him down. He falls dead. Okay, cool. How about Kleebler? You see this going on.
Keebler is a bit conflicted, but he draws his bow and shoots at one of those attackers.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Their AC is 9 because they all lost their shields.
Okay, yeah, I hit AC 4, and I believe that is 1d6 for longbow. 3 points of damage.
Yep, 1 drops. How about
1d8 for a longbow?
No, I think everything's D6 in basic. No, are you sure? I think all the bows do D6.
Yeah, it's D6.
I think it's just the range is different.
Yeah, unless we're doing
I thought we were playing BX.
We are playing BX.
But yeah, we're not doing variable damage.
We are, but I think that both bows do a D6 in BX.
Okay.
Only the range is different, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I could be wrong. You can look it up. Either way, it killed him. So.
Oh yeah, I think it's because it does arrow damage. That's right.
Yeah, the arrow does one kind of damage, and the
yeah, you're right.
Uses the range.
The distance, yeah, range.
That's why I didn't know in basic fantasy. That's why I was like, oh wow, longbows do more damage because I didn't realize that I usually run BX. But anyways, it's your turn.
My turn.
What do you want to do?
Hanan looks towards his 2 retainers and he goes, "Stay back here, Charles. Frank, go and help Grin, but do not kill these folks. Just disarm them and knock them out." So Frank's going to move forward to, take the hilt edge and with his sword, and he's just going to try to conk one of them out.
Okay, you can do that. You'll just assuming you hit him, you'll just roll. Your damage will be halved basically, and then
all right.
It'll be
But yeah, that's what he's going to do. Okay. So go ahead and roll for him.
Yeah, make an attack. AC 9.
Oh man. He misses.
See, that's what you have to try not to kill things.
Oh wow!
Like a good murder hobo, you should be killing stuff. Yeah, so you try to go in there a little bit with less gusto, we'll say, and you miss. And the magic user doesn't attack, right? So what about your elf? Is he going to attack or no? Is Hanon attacking or no, Tony?
Oh no, he's just standing back watching all this. He's not getting involved.
Okay. just want to check this because you're going to subdue people below subdue. Each effect intelligent creature. Character that wishes to subdue intelligent opponent must now say doing a blunt blow, only blow to combat damage are articulate normally. Oh, actually, so it's not half damage, so it's just regular damage, but you can be considered a subdual. Okay, perfect. Just so we know if you want to do that in the future. All right, it is the next round then. There's two of them standing. Roll them around. They're probably going to run like hell. Yeah, they're they look frightened. Go ahead and since you won initiative, Crystal, you can roll again.
No, I lost initiative that time.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's right, you did. Okay, so Tony, roll initiative. I'm sorry, Young.
Yeah, thank goodness, because I just rolled a 1.
Young, roll initiative.
I got 5.
Yeah, you go first. Okay, so you see two of these guys, standing still with the spears. They you might see some like an area of wetness on in their groin area, as they look at the viciousness that your party's done to them. But they've got a fever in their eyes.
For the quest, I have no other choice. And he knocks an arrow and shoots, but misses with the roll of 3.
Okay. All right, and Tony, your characters.
Yeah, Hanan's just standing back with his arms folded, hoping this ends soon. Charles the cleric standing next to him, and Frank will try to knock one of them out again. Oh my gosh. He misses again.
Oh my god, okay. Crystal? Your character?
Grin will pull her mace and go after one of these peeps. Let's see, and that's a I rolled a 14, but let me look at my
I'm sure that hits.
stuff.
You're third level, right?
Yeah.
You only need an 8 to hit them.
Even rolling a 14, it hits armor class 5.
Yeah.
So, and that's let's see, and that's a total of 2 points of damage.
Nice. That kills them. So you swing your mace and smash one, and their face gets smushed in. There's one standing with his spear.
Oh, and I guess my fighter will attack him. But with a roll of 7, he will not hit that guy.
Okay. There's one guy standing who is, peeing himself, but he's still going to attack because I rolled high on the morale thing. However, from behind the ruin, 2 men with bows pop up first, and they're going to send arrows into the party. So they're going to, how many people? Let's see. So Tony's got 3. You have 3. So that's 6, 7, and then the cultist is 8. Someone's going to do that way. The first arrow goes after number 4, which is Grin. That's not going to hit you. The second arrow goes after number 2, which is Tony's your first henchman.
Charles, I guess, yeah.
Charles, okay. Wow, this die is really rolling rapid. 12 misses.
Armor class 12? I mean, armor class 7?
Yeah, no, that misses. Yeah, armor class 7.
No, that'll hit him in. Armor class 7 on the cleric.
No, he hits armor class 8 with a 12.
Okay.
Because he's a normal man. He's not a.
I got you.
Yeah, he needs that's right, you're in leather armor. But either way, it misses. Then, storming from the building come 13 guys with swords.
From the ruins of that building?
Yep. They're charging at you like madmen. All right, so I'm just going to do it this way. Actually, I'm going to do it. Yeah, okay. All right, first one, so 8, which is the last person, which is Keebler. 17 on the die. Hits an armor class of 3.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Okay. I'll roll a different D8 because that wouldn't be fair. I was like, I could use the same D8, but that wouldn't be fair because then all Tony's characters would take almost no damage and Young would take 8 points. 2 points of damage from a sword.
Okay.
Okay. So hold on. Let me make a note of these guys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Second one goes after Tony's second henchman, misses though with a 6 on the die. It's not going to do anything. Young again, but that hits. That's a 10 on the die. That's not going to hit you. What's your AC, anyways?
AC is 7.
Oh, okay. Let me just see what they need to hit you then. That's the easiest way to do it. They're going to need a 13 or better to hit you. Okay. Nope. Miss again. 15 on the die hits character number 4, which would be Grins. That's not going to hit you, right? Because your AC is like 2, right? So that doesn't hit.
Mhm.
Move this down so I can see my chart better.
If only there was a way to like have some kind of armor that ascended in numbers, so we could just
3.
see
So
the dice.
your third character is the cleric, right, Tony?
Well, he was the first hench.
Okay, no. So fighter is the second henchman.
Yep.
Okay, good. Misses him then, because that would have hit the cleric actually. Miss. Wow. Okay, 12. It's nothing. So I need at least a 13 to anybody. 2 more. Wow. Okay. I feel like there's going to be a natural 20 somewhere because that just literally rolled like 13 times and only hit once. So these guys charge out of you with swords and daggers and stuff, and they just like start slamming into the party. And with your deft skill, you're able to basically avoid getting hit, except for one hit against Young's character. You do see that. Well, actually, you don't see because the arrows came from the ruins, but those guys don't come running out. Obviously, they're staying behind that. So after that long thing, let's roll initiative. You rolled in 1, so you can roll again, Young. They got a 6 this time, though.
Oh man, I roll 1.
All right. They're going first.
Could we cast magic?
They're not casting any magic, no.
I mean, could we cast magic, or do we have to wait until our turn?
You can't cast magic until it's your turn. If you're going to cast a spell, you have to declare ahead of time, though, which is, I guess, what you're doing now.
Yep.
Okay. But you know that if you get hit, you're going to lose the spell. So it's not ideal to do when they win initiative, but we'll do it. All right, here we go. I'm going to do this way. I'm clearing up my dice ball here, so it's easier to do. First one is going after. Second character misses. 7th character misses. Actually, I'm gonna roll the other thing only if I get a high enough number to make a difference. Oh, of course, now I did. 14 against character 3, which is the fighter. That misses. 10 misses. Okay, 16 against. So 16 against. 16. It's AC 4. Does that hit Landon? No, right? Landon's.
Oh, no, Hanan is
Hanan, I'm sorry.
AC 6.
So it does then. Yeah. So Hanan gets hit for 5 points.
Whew, okay.
Okay. Boom. 13 against character number 7, which would be your third character. Crystal, who's that?
Not fighter.
And okay, he's got plate, right? So this is.
He's got chain.
Okay. Well, does he have AC?
And he doesn't have his shield anymore. So his AC was
5.
4, so it should be 5 now.
Okay, yeah, so it's some misses. Nope. Okay, 18 against character 6, which would be your third character, Crystal, which is what we determined as your fighter, right?
Yeah. AC 5.
It's AC 2, so that should hit. Okay, so he gets hit for 4 points.
Okay.
All right, and the last Young's character misses. Okay, then the 2 guys with bows miss. Ooh, 19. Oh man, Keebler. You just get nailed with an arrow.
No,
They want your cookies.
that's right.
3 points.
Oof, yeah, just barely standing.
Yeah, you guys are getting. I mean, you're standing on. There's like a massive combat going on here with all these people. So it is now your turn. So go ahead, Keebler.
Keebler just lost a magic missile spell.
Oh no, you got hit, so you lose your spell.
Yeah.
So you're
Could I still move
yeah, go ahead.
or attempt to flee?
If you run the well, yeah, because they already went, so they can follow you. But basically, if you
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna run.
where?
The way that he came.
So back up the stairs.
Yep.
Okay. When you get up, start running towards the stairs, make a save to see if you.
Ooh, 16. He made it.
Okay, so you run to the top of the stairs.
Nice.
Okay. Anon.
Anon sees Keebler running that way and shakes his head and goes, "Foolish. He's foolish. He's doing human stuff." And Hanan is going to take off, going for the entrance of the two columns in that middle there.
Yeah.
You know, where he went and inspected. He wants to run there to see if there's something that will protect and shield him from them coming in there. He's thinking that something with no damage to that area, but if there's something of the day, they're not going to come there. So he's going to run to there. He's taking Charles with him. Frank's going to stand his ground because Frank's trying to protect their retreat.
Okay. Cool. And finally, Grin and company.
In the background, you hear Rift play, and as Iron Man begins to pick up, and Grin says, "So many willing to sacrifice themselves to me. Today, Anubis shall be pleased." And he'll attack the closest thing that he can kill. She will attack the closest thing.
Okay. Go for it.
I rolled a 16, so that should hit.
Yep.
For 4 points of damage.
Yeah, that kills one.
And I'm going to say the fighter will stay and fight for now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. You didn't.
Unless you say different.
Right. Let me roll your morale. But also, Tony, you said your fighter was going to attack, but I didn't let you attack. So don't forget to attack after Crystal's done.
All right.
7, which is exactly the morale. So yeah, he's staying.
Nice. But with a 5, he misses. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
I was going to say, dude, you got your other character, Crystal, or you finished?
And my magic user, she can't do anything anymore. So she's going to say, "Sorry, Grant, I'm out," and she's going to run away.
Okay. Yeah. Where? Up the stairs with the one elf, or towards the entrance with the other elf? Which elf do you want?
Towards the exit with the one of them was running towards like the exit, right, or towards the where they came in at.
Tony's characters are running towards the pillars where you guys came in with the entrance.
That's where she'll run to.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Frank the fighter, he's not very wise at all. So the last order he was given was to knock these people out, so he's trying to non-lethal them. Oh, and that 20 finally got a good roll.
All right.
4 points.
Yeah,
he comes with the hilt of his longsword.
Yep. One goes unconscious when he falls to the ground. Okay, so let's. So they won initiative that time, so that means it's Tony's turn to roll.
All right. 3.
But they also got 3. Let's just roll again. 4.
Oh man, 2.
Oh, okay, they're gonna go first. All right. The archers are gonna change targets because they see a non-armored person running across the field. Hold on, what's your movement?
Hanan, I think, would be at least 30, wouldn't it? Because he's
No. Sorry, I'm thinking about Crystal's magic user. But actually, I think you can get there. I'm looking at the map. You're definitely there by the time you. So the arrows, the archers turn and shoot at the magic user standing in the circle, and the arrows fly towards you, and they seem to almost get caught in the air and go and shoot wildly. Like they miss terribly, basically, as they're trying to shoot at the magic user that's standing by the circle. The other people, though, that are in melee are going to go and keep doing what they're doing. So first person, I need a bigger tray. My tray is so small. Okay. Oh, actually, we have less people in. So basically, in melee right now is Tony, Grin.
Yep, Frank. I got Frank in there. Yep.
So Frank, Grin, Ben, and that's it, right? Just 3 of you. All right. So I'll roll a 6-sider in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So it doesn't matter. I roll a 4. Roll a 9. That's not going to hit anybody. I'm not going to hit anybody. Not going to hit anybody. Okay, 15 might hit somebody. Let me see who that is. Although actually everybody in combat right now has good armor, right? What I should do is figure out who has the worst armor class right now. Who's standing in the combat that has the worst armor? Definitely not Frank.
Definitely not Frank.
Ben's in plate, right? Or chain rather.
Ben's on 5.
So he's got the worst armor. So he's an armor class 5. So they need a 15. So anything under 15, I'm not going to look. So that's a 19. So that hits 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually hits Ben. So actually, that might hit anybody. No, that hits. That is going to be Grin. Actually, and 19 is armor class 1. Does that hit Grin?
Yeah, that actually hits me.
Oh, okay. Hold on. That's with the sword. 4 points.
No, that's just enough. Grin goes down.
Oh, all right. Grin crumbles to dust. How does Grin die?
Grin fills the sword into her, and she begins to crumble. And she says, "Anubis, my life I give to thee." And she dies.
Up in the heavens where the gods are, they all like look around. They're like, Anubis. I'm like, I don't know. She's been doing that her whole life. Oh. All right. So there's only 2 of you now. So we'll say even on the D6 will be Frank. It'll be Ben. Doesn't hit anybody. Doesn't hit anybody. Doesn't hit anybody. 14 doesn't hit anybody. Last one. Doesn't hit anybody. Okay, so the 2 archers missed. All the fighters went. Everybody that's still, I'm going to deal with you in a second, Young. So let's have Frank and then Ben do what they're going to do, and then we'll figure out everything else.
Yeah, I mean, Frank's still standing there trying to knock him out. I mean, that's what he was told to do.
Yeah.
Um,
He is actually, right? He's a henchman, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's actually going to falter because I rolled an 8, which is higher
His
than
morale, okay.
So
yeah.
He would start running though to that. Then I guess if it's okay, he would start running towards where he sees Hanan and company. Then.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna book.
I feel like Ben would do the same. I don't think Ben would stand here and fight once Grin goes down.
Yeah, once he's down, unless he just feels motivated to do it because he's for revenge or whatever. Because I did roll actually the morale again. It was actually successful. So theoretically, Ben could fight to the death. But that's if you want him to run, that's fine. I'm fine.
No, I think it would just make more sense for him to run.
Yeah, with everybody's
Besides,
scared.
I mean, Grinthova was evil and he was lawful. So
yeah, he definitely wasn't. He wasn't loving that. Maybe he was hoping to save her someday. Who knows? Maybe he just.
Yeah, if the rest of our Hanan and Charles, they're seeing Grin go down, and he saw Keebler run up the stairs, but he has no idea where he's at because he can't see him from there. So they're just going to their horses. They're getting in horses and leaving. Hanan's had enough of this human garbage.
Yeah, so Keebler, you're up top, and you can see this combat going on. You see everybody start to run for the door. Let me just see if everything happens to you while you're standing up there. Nothing seems to be going on up here. However, you witness, the party leave and grab their horses and make a run for it. And you see all these cultists run like heck to follow them. And as soon as they try to enter that circular area right by the entrance, it's almost like they hit like something punched them in the face. They like really run forward, they hit, and they fall backwards on the ground. And they're like shaking their heads, and then they seem confused, and then they walk back to the ruins that they were at. They don't seem to have remembered that you ran up the stairs. So you actually see them go back to the ruin, and you're standing up there as the party drives away. And you're thinking, well, they came by themselves, and I showed up late. I guess I'm leaving by myself too.
How many are there, by the way?
They wake up the one that got knocked out. So there's 16 total.
Oh, man.
You guys step out that you hadn't seen before. He walks out and starts looking at the ones that were killed, the other cultists. Remember, there was the one upstairs that had all the jewelry, and the guy is similar to him that's in nice clothes and stuff. Goes up there and starts taking his jewelry. You see him kind of stripping the good stuff from his body, and then he kicks the body into water there, and then they go back to their ruin.
Yeah, he's gonna linger around just a little bit until they all go back in. If they close the door and if he doesn't see any of them like sticking their head out, What he's gonna do is, where exactly am I on the map? Could you
Okay,
like
so
point it?
you are the stairs. See the statue right there?
Yep.
Yep, you're basically right near the statue.
Okay. I'm hiding right behind the statue.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast a mirror image to myself. Okay, and I'm gonna attach, and then after that, I'm basically gonna run for it out the door.
Okay. Let me just see if they notice you. No, I mean you actually somehow your mirror image is like on their tiptoes or whatever, and nobody seems to notice you as you make your way out. And
Does he have to make another spell save down the stairs?
yes, one more spell stick.
Here we go. 13. That is a fail, I believe.
Okay, so you will spend time. You already cast up all your spells, right?
Yeah.
So
I got a dagger and a sword
so 5
and a,
would
and a
wait.
longbow.
So you basically take your bag, like your backpack, if you have one with like rope and stuff in it, like oil and all of the crap that you would normally carry, and you just chuck that over. You leave it there.
Hey, Crystal, can you mute? Because I can't hear what's
Sorry.
going on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you basically chuck your like adventuring items off the side. You keep your weapons, and then you so there's like 4 of Keebler. They take their backpack off that's full of like cookies and stuff, and I don't know, things that they use to fix shoes, and they throw it off the side.
Yeah, they find 1 week's worth of cookies.
Yeah, and you make your way out, and there's like you got your horse out there. They didn't steal your horse, so I'm sure they would have left it for you. And you're able to catch back up to them once they get into the tree line, and together
Yeah,
you're.
I was going to say, probably once we got, out of distance, a mile, half mile, whatever, and see we weren't being pursued, we would have waited. I would say we would have waited to see if Keebler ever showed up.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, once you get to the tree line, which was about a quarter mile away, you guys could have hung out there just to make sure what was going on. It doesn't seem like anybody's pursued you, and you don't see anything unusual. Well, actually, hold on. You're waiting an hour. Yeah, you don't see anything unusual if you just hang out for like an hour and then you leave. So if you want to head back to town, you could do that, and we could wrap up there and see how it ends for adventurers. How about let's start with Hanan. What happens?
Yeah, Hanan gets back, him and Frank and Charles, and he tells Charles and Frank, he says, going down to the tavern. I'll go and explain to him what happened, but you going down to the tavern, and I'll be there in a moment to give you what wages for today's deal. But don't drink any mead, don't drink any ale, any of the strong stuff. Get us a bottle of the Elvish wine. Just tell them that it's for me. They have it hid back in the back. They keep a special bottle for me, but don't drink the mead. And Hanan goes and tells the story about what happened. He goes, I've tried to tell you this before, but nobody ever listens to us elves. It's always the humans who are at fault. Always the humans. And he turns around, walks out, and goes back to the tavern and drinks his elvish wine.
Yeah, you say that to the knightly lord, who's of course human. He just kind of. Okay, how about for Ben and the magic user, who Stacy? What was her name? Charlotte.
Shelly, I believe, or Sheila, something like that. I don't know. Ben's kind of like, yeah, thought I could help them. But they were just too far gone. And Sheila is reading a book and just pretending to listen to Ben complain as she waits for the next person that's going to come up and hire her for her magical abilities.
Nice. And how about Keebler? What happens with Keebler after this?
Keebler looks at the Lord, and as Lord is like looking at Keebler, he says, "Don't look at me. I'm an elf too," and then follows where Aenon went.
I'd like one more thing. I don't know if you would allow this.
Go for it.
All right. In the afterworld, you see Grin sitting outside of this large keep huge, made of steel and stuff, as this voice speaks to her. Yes, in the world you served a god of death, but your time is not done. You shall now worship me and be known as the Nightmare Queen. Rise, Nightmare Queen, and serve your god, Jin Gorza!
Nice. So back at the temple, periodically, if you had like a bird's eye view of the place, you would see every few hours or so strange creatures, invisible leeches, giant jellies of various hues, and other types of creatures leave by means of holes that are knocked down in the walls. As every time they try to leave through the front gate, that circular area blocks and keeps them there. The local lords need to call upon the crown to bring in an army to eventually flatten the place, as it seems that dozens of the Underdark, or whatever you want to call the places below that the creatures come from, continue to come in greater and greater numbers as time goes on, and the land becomes darker and darker until force can come and eventually flatten this once holy temple that's now become a portal to the evil realms. And yeah, that's it. We don't know whatever happened to Sorg. I guess we'll show up again someday.